I used to hike those mountains.
Yeah, well, it's beautiful.
Yeah, what happened? You gotta come back.
You know, I went to Utah for 10 days in June.
Yeah, did you hike
And I
there?
did a lot of them, Bryce, Zion,
You did some hiking there?
yeah, every day, yeah.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I miss the White Mountains.
Hey, Paul.
Gentlemen.
Paul, how's
Hey,
it going?
Paul.
Hello.
I was told to sit at a microphone, Paul. That's why.
Yeah, you
That's
gotta
why
get a
I'm blocking
microphone.
you.
Hey,
So
Paul.
you can't sit in that chair, Paul. Although you're gonna,
We'll let you.
oh, they're wireless microphones. You can move them around.
Speak right into it, too.
Who
That's
knew?
what Doug said. Yeah, can't, we're on. So we're live and we are Memorex too, because we will be, it'll be taped, so in case anybody wants to. So we'll call the meeting to order, 6 o'clock. I guess I did distribute some stuff. If you guys need it, I've got a copy. Pass it around.
Last of the big spenders here.
I don't remember getting stuff.
Oh, it's all in the drive. I'm
Mm.
gonna put it all up in the
Yep.
drive. I think that was your suggestion, right?
It was, but you've been sometimes just sending to the home address, which I don't check.
Oh, I don't know.
It's only my work
No, I
address
sent
that I actually look
I
at.
sent it to your, what is it, I can't think.
AccuBoost?
No, but I sent it to your Google address too.
I don't get that either. Only one I look at is my work
Did
address.
anybody see it? No.
I did.
Oh, you
I
did? All right,
I
good,
saw it.
good.
I looked at it. I studied it. I got it right here in front of me.
Okay, so the first order of business will be the minutes from the July meeting. Pete, great job on minutes. I think we can take, the only comment I have on it is, well, I'll take a motion first on the July 12th minutes. if anybody
So
wants
moved.
to.
Second.
Super. The only comment I have is Austin Saganowitz. I think we can probably take him off.
Take him off? Yeah, okay.
Because, he wasn't
No one had,
As a committee member?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's been on for
Yeah.
a long time.
would he officially go, or did he just not?
He
not show
tendered
up
a
anymore?
resignation
Oh, he did?
at some point, I don't know, 2 years
I
ago.
asked Nancy for it. I never saw it, so.
Yep.
She said she was gonna send him a letter, but maybe she didn't.
I'll see if I have something.
That's fine. Okay, good.
Okay, he's off.
So, any further discussion on the July 12th minutes?
Hearing no.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Great, unanimous. Thank you very much. Nice job, Pete. What did I have for next? Was it ARPA? Was that the next thing on the agenda?
The agenda, you wanna know the
You,
agenda?
ARPA.
Yes, okay. So, one of the things I sent around, Leslie, I met with Jim and Leslie last month. And one of the things that came up was the constraints on the ARPA spending are a little bit more, a little tighter than we had originally thought. So the interpretation was, as long as it was spent by, or as long as it was committed by 12/26, by December 2026, then we were fine. What came back to Leslie was that it's not only committed, it has to be spent by 12/26.
Mhm.
So, what's going before the select board tomorrow is that schedule that is changing some of the allocations. And her explanation was that, so basically, we're no longer going to be appropriating OPEB for the next 4 years.
Okay.
We're not going to be appropriating MS4 permits for the next 4 years directly. We're not going to be appropriating the Board of Health Worcester Alliance membership for the next, for 24, 25, and 26, the $100,000. So they're gonna rescind that at tomorrow's meeting, the select board. That's what they're considering. They are then going to reappropriate that same amount of money, it's $700,000, to retiree health insurance in fiscal 2023. The sewer budget for operating and maintenance expenses in 2023. And health expenditures, such as basically out of their normal expenditures for March of '21 through December of '24. So what that will do, and she says she's not showing it as a revenue item, it's just going to be going back as a credit to the expense. So it will reduce the expenses in that year. And then what will happen is it will indirectly increase the,
Free cash.
Free cash?
well, not free cash, because these are.
Negative balance.
revolving. It's going to basically replenish their surplus for the sewer fund, the Board of Health, because the Board of Health is a revolving fund.
So it's gonna show as a surplus for a few years.
So it will show as a surplus, but it will be appropriated for those years. So it's basically just taking it out of one line item and putting it to the other, but I just thought
Okay.
it was interesting.
But-
And these are revolving
It doesn't
accounts?
qualify as an expenditure.
It does.
If it's
because
going
it's-
into
it's-
surplus.
It's an expenditure that they will be expending and then replenishing with ARPA funds for that year. So what it will do is the effect will be that it will build up surplus in that year. That will continue, and then so for instance, on the sewer, all right, the MS4 is what we were looking at to pay those. So one of the things we will do is there is an equity fund in the sewer that we always go in and grab. There's always funds that come out of that to help fund the operating budget. This will serve to build that equity up a little bit, because it will be paying expenses from prior years on the sewer operating maintenance. And the same thing with the Board of Health. And retiree health insurance, the same thing, because we basically, instead of funding OPEB, we will be paying or crediting back the $400,000 to retiree health insurance. And then at the end of the year, that will create, so for the town's funds, that will create additional free cash that will go to surplus, that can then be allocated to. So it's kind of just,
So I guess I don't understand the restriction they're putting in. Because if you take a look at the MS4 permits, they were specifically for each of those calendar years.
right,
So they would have been expended in and before the 26.
may have not been, they may have not been expended by the end of, because it's gotta be expended by the 12/31/26.
Okay.
And
So
fiscal-
23, 24, 25 would have been fine, but 26 would have been
I
a
guess
question.
that's the feeling.
Okay.
So they just thought it was one, this would correct it once and for all. And that's part one. And then part two is, they're also going to be looking for, down at the bottom, you can see, an appropriation, they're gonna be looking to make an appropriation, for an additional, $32,429, which is $2,429 for the Department of Public Works. The Toro Grounds Master Mower that we approved has gone up in price, $2,400, so there wasn't enough in that. That was funded through ARPA back in April. And then the other piece is the library boiler system. This, we have the spec.
That's probably the wrong word, because we're not talking the boiler system, we're talking about the HVAC system. Yeah, boiler is the wrong, because the boiler leads you to believe they're replacing the boiler, which is actually what they're not doing. They're gonna implement the heat pump, if they can. It says here that that there can be a grant that might pay for it all through Eversource, huh? We also got $100,000 apparently in the budget for the library heating system as
Right.
well.
Where, huh? Where did that come in?
So apparently, our new temporary town manager said, why don't we put in for, money in the state budget for our, library, heat pump system?
Yeah,
Oh,
And they contacted Harriet Chandler, who, as you know, is retiring. And she said, fantastic idea, I'm putting it in. And she called back and said, it's in, and it's approved by the legislature. So all the governor has to do is sign it.
which
So-
he did, my understanding is he did.
Well, he did sign, I didn't see, he does have line item vetoes, but I can't imagine this would even come to his attention. Yeah. So apparently he signed it, and but I haven't seen an announcement by anybody that we actually have the $100,000.
so the 30K that's in here, what exactly is it for? It says spec development for grant.
So, in order for Eversource to move ahead, they need a specification. Yeah. So they did another engineering study that did do the details, but now they need to complete that with a specification that can go out for bids.
So did we ever hear how much they're actually gonna put in?
No,
Eversource.
What's the question?
how much, what's their dollar?
No, that's what I'm asking here. It's saying that apparently that Eversource will pay for it all, which I find hard to believe, but.
What is saying that? What are you reading?
Well, let's see, what is it right, where is it? The library boiler system, Eversource may cover. Right? If we have the specification, then they can go out to bids and they're gonna pay for it, supposedly, based on their state grant. It's a lot of confusion, because I asked Anna directly about it, and she has no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
So, we got $100,000 to put toward it if we need it, and Eversource is gonna pay some of it, or all of it, we don't know. But in order to move forward, we need this specification.
Do we know if the amounts for that spec will be reimbursed through
No.
whatever funding we
No.
get?
Will not be reimbursed.
No, this is something we have to do in order to bring it to the next step. We have to
Hmm.
eat this, whether we use it or not.
But if it works,
Yep.
it's a wonderful thing.
Well, we are at the point where,
Sure.
the engineering study said that we can do this, it'll work. Now it's a question of,
No, I meant if it works to come to
Soliciting bids.
fruition
Oh,
through
yeah.
Eversource.
I gotta say, it's one of those, I'm gonna sell you a car and I'm gonna tell you the price later.
Well,
I don't understand
yeah.
why we can't get an answer on how much they're willing to contribute. And I don't even know who's having the conversation that would address that.
Jim Purcell was not having the conversation, so, we can follow up with, I can follow up with.
yeah, and he has to be working with Roger from, what's the engineering company? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
God, Rise.
Rise.
Yeah. And maybe even, friend at the municipal power. But, and I know that's one of the things,
I think he's out of it.
I think he's out of it.
Yeah,
too.
he's not,
Yeah.
he put the two together, and he's got other things to do.
Let him use my power, that's it.
Well, he could be an interesting wild card. He might get get them to kick in a little bit at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, that would be good, that would be good. But, that said, so that's really, I just wanna, again, continue our momentum in being involved with this ARPA stuff. You know, Ray was, initially drove the bus, and Paul, you had looked into being a part of that as well, and I just wanna make sure that we're still in that sequence, even though, the select board don't require us, but they, I think, like our input and like our support.
So these additional items here, 200,000 for Major Edwards boiler replacement,
Has not, that's not in here.
And 150,000 for the mixed field drainage.
Could be, that
I
could
mean,
be.
these are both could-be projects,
They're not going before the select board Wednesday night.
but we still have ARPA money that could fund those.
We do, and those are,
We think those are
that's
good
been-
projects.
That's been talked about. Yeah, I mean, it's, I guess, it's good to, depending upon who you talk to, I think, the Major Edwards, they're supposedly working on a green, although I have not heard back from them as to what the
Okay,
status
right.
is.
Rather than a boiler replacement, they may also be looking at some kind
Or
of.
some kind of grant, a green,
grant.
a mass, one of the Green Communities grant, which would hopefully take care of.
Supposedly, the Green Communities is changing as a result of the issuance of the new, plan at the end of June.
Okay.
Yeah, and there were some monetary limits to how much we could get under that original, I'm not sure the right word, solicitation, award, grant, whatever it is.
I don't know, I mean,
I'm not sure.
but in the mixed drainage, I mean, that's, a wild card at this point, from what my understanding. I mean, I have not been totally involved in that, but I understand when they had initially put that out to bid, I think they had some opportunities to get some money from the state and everything, but it's taken so long that bid is now,
Expired.
oh yeah, and it's going up, you know.
And why does that have to be done? Is it flooding neighbors?
Oh, it floods every spring. There's a pond in the middle of the field
But why do we
until,
care? I mean,
June.
what is it?
For athletic field, I mean, it's because they want to.
Oh, it's the athletic field,
Yeah.
so the athletic field's kind of underwater for a
Right.
while.
yeah,
That's the softball field.
it's, well, it's mixed use.
Multi-use, yeah, I think they use it for soccer too.
Well, memory's constructive, but I thought we had voted this at town meeting, that they were gonna put money into the drainage at Mixter. That never, am I imagining this?
Yeah, you are. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't recall.
Hmm.
No, because I don't think they have.
You were hoping, but
Put
it
it
didn't
a long
happen.
time ago.
Yeah, because it's been out there, but stay tuned, so there's more on that. But for our purposes tonight, just want to make sure that we're all
Okay.
on board, so if anybody wants to make a motion that we support these
The revised plan?
revised revisions to the ARPA funding, we'll certainly entertain that.
I'll make a motion to support it.
Second.
Great.
So, to be clear, what we're including in the endorsement is also the 32K at the
Correct.
bottom for additional proposed?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, And we'll,
And that is essentially to get us to the table with Eversource. right?
yes, we can't even start negotiations with them until we have that spec.
I think the sooner we move on that, the better, yeah.
Yeah.
Run out of
I
money.
think that's what everybody feels.
Now, when we talked with Leslie, she had mentioned a supplemental ARPA award. Have we heard anything more about that?
No. Have not. Have
Okay.
not. There might be more, I don't know. I don't know. That's-
Supposedly, there's more ARPA money coming,
Yeah.
just in general, but I don't
ARPA
believe
money
there's
is
a,
a mystery.
I don't believe there's a
Where the city
timetable
of
set
Worcester got
for
$120
when
million
that's supposed to be.
in ARPA money. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that's.
Nice, if you can get it.
We got a little play going.
But, I mean, if the city of Worcester got 100, I mean, when you add it all up, I mean, we're talking billions of dollars, I guess,
Yeah.
yeah, it's all,
Money, money.
it's the government, it's federal money, so it's not real
They
money.
just print
Yeah,
it.
it's not real money, it's just billions.
They just print it. Nothing but devalue the dollar.
No, this is the inflation protection.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna
It's-
protect us. Let's spend
You're
more
not- you're
money
not-
so we can
you're not-
reduce inflation.
You're not feeling comfortable? Inflation's coming down. We should be careful here. yeah.
All right, so we have a motion and a second.
Yes, we do.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, that's great, thanks.
All right.
All right, I think,
Sorry.
yeah,
I co-opted your paper.
no, that's all right, I just wanted to see what else that I had, so nothing, capital spreadsheet status, we haven't, had nothing with Nancy's departure, cause she was gonna work on getting that over to Fay, and that just hasn't.
Was it
come
Fay that
together.
was gonna take it
I
over?
think Fay was gonna be the one, yes, 'cause she had,
Okay.
I will, renew those discussions when our new town manager is on board. Mr. Purcell's been very cooperative, thus far. But I don't know what his availability is, because he has limited hours.
Yeah.
He did reach out to me though, just, I don't know if anybody, Bill or anybody else is interested. Chief Sadowski, our new fire chief in town, has requested a meeting with the finance committee to go over some things, or, I don't know if it's gonna be the committee or just, members, just to kind of go over some of his concerns, I guess, or some of, what may be his concerns or status of some things.
So do we know him? Is he new to town?
He's new, brand new, he came from Southborough,
It's a picture of him in the item.
yeah.
It's in,
Yeah, and I actually saw the chief's last meeting with the select board, where he, basically had no money coming, there's no money coming for any kind of a generator. He didn't apply for a grant there, so that's that. He felt that the best, the emergency, if it was gonna be an emergency site, that the only place that really qualified would be the senior center. He didn't get
Wants
involved.
to know why we wasted our money on a forestry truck.
That's right.
Don't need it.
Well, we're gonna find out what else we
Yeah.
need, who knows, I'm sure.
We'll see what the new generation has in mind.
I'm sure we'll find some things that, I don't know.
Yes.
It's a little scary from that
Yeah.
standpoint. More than a little scary, but, so I'll keep, what's that?
Stay tuned.
Exactly, yeah, definitely.
When are you thinking of this meeting, or is not?
I don't know,
no time soon?
Mr. Purcell reached out to me, said, would I be available, and I said, yeah, and he said within the next couple of weeks. So, I'll see if he wants all of us, me, whatever, I'll keep everybody posted
Yeah.
on that. And then we're, I guess we're, I don't know what the status of the new town manager is, or town administrator. I know that they're,
I haven't heard
I
anything.
haven't heard anything, but I think there's negotiations going on, but I don't know, what the start date or anything like that, but I think, more to follow on that, hopefully.
Yeah, I like the guy we have now, he got $100,000 out of Harriet Chen.
He's actually, yeah.
This is his second stint, right? As
Yeah.
interim
You're right,
mayor.
yeah.
He's, we should keep him.
Yeah, I think he's, but, I think he likes doing it part-time.
I'm sure.
Because he's, so we'll
And
see,
who wouldn't?
yeah, no, well, until you get town meeting and all that sort of good
Right,
stuff
yeah.
going on, then that can be a different.
I'm sure he's hoping to be out of town.
He is, so the run-up to town meeting, that was the other thing I just wanted to go over with everybody, just to make sure, he's gonna be looking for budget article and submittal deadlines by September 2nd. So that will be anybody that's looking for something in the fall for capital or whatever, I'm sure.
Yeah, we don't know who that is, we have no knowledge of any capital items that they're gonna push
Not
for.
on that at this point.
Too early.
Well, the schools wanted to deal with the boiler
Yeah.
this fall.
Yeah, and I know that
Technically,
we pushed.
theoretically, the library did as well, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen.
Yeah, do we have any sense of how long this engineering study is gonna take once we fund
It
it?
shouldn't take that long.
Shouldn't take long, because it's, they've done all the details, really just writing a
I
specification.
think the DPW director had deferred a request for his truck, so that might be back. We'll call.
So what are the logistics? Has Jim already reached out to department heads and say,
He was sending it out on the 15th
okay,
today.
Good.
And then, when the articles and the requests are submitted, they'll be sent along to the BOS and the FinCom on the 7th of September.
Good.
Our draft warrant should be ready by the September 20th, which is about a week behind what Nancy was last year for fall town meeting, but I'm out actually the week of that 20th, I'm not gonna be around, so.
I'm not gonna be around myself till the 19th.
You're heading out till the 19th, or,
No, I'll be back on the 19th.
Back on the 19th. Good.
What, you're heading out on the 19th?
I'm heading out on that, what is that, is that
It's
the?
gonna be
the-
a rather compressed schedule right at the
It'd
end.
be quick, yeah. I don't think it shouldn't be that much.
Right.
What's town meeting date?
Um,
Yeah, it's a good question.
town meeting was,
I don't have it here. Will be Monday, right?
it'll be a Monday.
Columbus
and
Day
it's-
is the 10th.
So it's probably the 17th.
Yeah.
17th.
October
Did we say
17th.
that or not?
Yeah, October 17th.
Probably say that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm in town that day.
Meeting.
Yeah, on October 17th.
Okay, October the 17th. All right, I'm gonna work on that.
See if I can pull it up on the town website, it should be out there by now, I would hope. Um, So I just wanted,
That's,
so
I guess, in a couple of weeks.
we should be
Should be able to go.
in decent shape. And we should be. Town meetings, semi-annual town meeting, Monday, May 16th. 2022.
It's on Monday.
When is
No,
it?
That's in the
May
past.
May 16th, I'm sorry, oh my God. That's what I'm looking at here, holy smokes. Semi-annual town meeting warrant, so obviously it hasn't been posted yet.
Okay, so, yeah.
Monday, October 17th,
Okay, that's what we said.
last day to register to vote before the semi-annual town meeting is September 27th.
Okay.
All right.
So good,
Yes, that
I'll
that
keep
gets
it.
us last week of September and the first 2 weeks of October.
yes, that should be fine.
And there's,
I should be there.
you know, if there's any big thing, there's still
There's
lots
still
of.
some more funds too, yeah, which may be the way I want to.
And as Paul pointed out, there may be more opera money.
Which would be nice, so we'll
Yep.
keep an eye on that, I'll reach out to Leslie too.
You know, at this point,
Anything additional.
my grandchildren can pay for this. It's okay, mine.
They're going to,
Yeah, so.
along
I'm
with the,
good. I'm having a good time.
the other 10 trillion in debt we racked up. So,
So there's a big, the big pool is, I mean, I'm not, just for everybody, I'm sure everybody's aware that, and Paul, you were just talking about the 40B that they're thinking about up on
Oh, yeah,
Boylston
saw that,
Street.
yeah. They wanna work together with the town, huh?
oh, yeah.
We have no
Yeah, right.
surcapacity, right? There's not gonna be any
And
surcapacity.
that's what's gonna be interesting,
Yeah.
is to see where that
They
lands.
run the entrance of that off,
Newton,
Newton Street.
I think that's what,
The
that's
old
what,
pool
Yeah.
I
room.
haven't seen a plan, I don't know how many units it is. I did sit in on a affordable housing trust meeting where some of the abutters were, interested, Elise was in there and, El Dunlop, cause her house backs right up to it.
Yeah,
But they were talking about, Steve Anacasa is the developer and his nephew. And they were just talking about one of the projects that he's doing, guess he's got something going in Millbury right now. That was a quote-unquote friendly 40B, where they did a lip or something like that. This is 17 acres. He did the thing in Millbury on like 7 acres, and it was like 180 units or something like that. And,
Yeah.
so I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, really? Yeah, so it's not gonna be necessarily keeping with
we
that.
should, we're gonna meet with Mike Kamania of the water department, right? So
Yeah, I'll put that
See where
together,
that
I
is,
was gonna
'cause
do that.
with the new well, maybe the water system's
Water center.
adequate, I don't know.
Apparently, well, Chris Rucho said it, because Chris Rucho's on the Affordable Housing Trust, he said at the meeting that we have to make those resources available. I
Yeah.
don't know how we can do that. Is that true?
Yeah,
So
no,
we
it's
have to
right.
make, so
Or
if there's no
you may,
water,
You
you
have to
water
make,
available.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that just seems to me, now, with the sewer extension, though, I don't know what the ramifications of that are.
Much. I know that you have to be able to provide water
Yeah,
in those
Period.
things, yeah.
even though it was outside the scope of our developable land, because technically that was not. But now, when we did our open space, in our, townwide plan, that land was not identified as buildable. I mean,
You missed it?
Did you?
oh, no, it was in open space. That was part of the open space plan, was to keep that because it didn't have access.
But who owned it?
Dr. Ebert, I think, owns it.
It's got access from both, the address of it is Malden Street.
Well, it's got a house though. There's a house on it. Dr. Ebert's house is on it, and that's it. So he's got 100 feet on Malden Street, that's it. One house
It just
lot.
goes all the way back to the other side,
Well, there's,
to that.
the
I call
two,
it the pool road.
right, Newton Street, but that 2-acre parcel is not Ebert's. That's somebody else's
Oh,
that this guy is assembling, and that's what gives him the access,
That's
if the sewer
the
goes down
catch.
that far.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it was, I don't know if it was Kirk or whatever, because I don't think he could, those lots were, I don't know. if
I
those
think
lots
I know
were-
the house on Wall.
It won't have
It's
to.
a beautiful
perk.
house. It wanted to, it'd take a long time. that-
Well, it won't have to perk, because it's gonna be.
It'll be sewer. No, but I mean, because right now, Newton Street doesn't have sewer. That end of Newton Street doesn't have it. It ends in the.
But it'll have to
the
for
T
this,
Woodhouse
yeah.
Street.
Can they force us to extend a sewer system?
Sure.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
40B, you can just.
I don't know the answer.
I don't either.
Did you see that Holden won a lawsuit against Worcester?
A big one.
For,
Apparently Worcester overcharged them for processing sewer water.
oh,
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
Millions.
I don't know a lot of detail, but yeah, apparently it was big, had a lot of money.
so, Chris, with the 40B project that you're talking about, when we were going through the arguments on North Main, there were, once that was put in place, my understanding is, depending on how the interpretations are, we met the affordable housing requirement.
Not anymore, apparently, though.
They got
it changed.
reinterpreted?
Changed, yeah. Yeah, because we had to have a housing plan, had to update the housing plan, even if we weren't at the 10%, it would constrict the ability to put a 40B, but they changed that, I think, in the last 2 years.
Crap.
Yeah.
Sounded too good to be true.
Now you have to be at 10%, and we're at like 8.6 or something like that. So, I don't know,
Yeah.
we'll see. It's very early.
So how far are we talking about for a sewer line extension to get to a point where we would service that parcel?
It's not that far.
A few
It's
hundred
not.
feet, yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
he's,
gotta come down from that property to Newton Street,
Yeah, okay.
Go all the way out.
go out from wherever that access point is to Goodale.
Yeah. If you're the developer, you'd pay for that.
right, the developer said he will pay for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, of course he would, yeah,
And,
of
you know,
course.
And he'll repave Newton Street curb. to curb,
It's,
you know,
yeah.
he's-
And that's right, they were talking about repaving it side to side, right? Because it was recently paved.
He's actually, you know, I don't know, I've never dealt with him on a 40B. I know him from my banking days, and I mean, there was, he did some nice stuff, but he's also, he's got a
He's a
very,
developer.
he's got a very strong team, and I'll say that much for him.
Lawyers,
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Lawyers, engineers, architects, very strong team. Built in a lot of different towns all over the Commonwealth, so.
All right, so 500
All right.
units, here we go.
So keep that in mind.
Here
And,
comes the new school.
The
I
builder's
sent you an
gonna build
article
one
about the
for us.
PFAS contamination in Westminster, huh?
Yeah, that's
And
unbelievable.
Well, not only is it unbelievable, and nobody seems to know exactly where it came from, how it happened.
And then on the heels of that, I don't know if you saw in the paper, the firemen that are suing, the state for, cancer, cause of illness because of their turnout gear. which
Oh,
was
really?
PFAS, yeah.
No, I didn't see that,
Yeah,
yeah.
there were, I think, 4 or 5 firemen in Worcester.
From Worcester, not from here?
Not from here, no, not from Worcester.
Not
They
yet.
jumped on that suit, yeah.
Jeez.
Some health, yeah.
So what kind of cancer does it induce?
I don't know offhand,
Bad,
yeah.
Bad cancer?
yeah, not the good cancer.
Good, Paul.
But yeah, so there's all kinds of.
I'm glad you're
We
here.
won't even talk about why I do this,
That's interesting. Insist, mandate that you must have turnout gear.
yeah.
Oh, you gave us turnout gear. Well, we're gonna sue you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the Army earplugs, huh?
That's well,
You know, the manufacturer of those are getting sued, right, because they,
all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
and all those guys are just.
They put all this stuff out. It was part of the fire retardant in their turnout gear. Well, I didn't know that it caused cancer when they produced it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing, but you know, it's still liable, and
I marvel at the irony, not the responsibility.
You're wishing you could have been a tort lawyer now, huh?
They'll keep you busy.
join that 2%. Ah,
anyways, all right, well, thanks everybody for getting.
all right, are we adjourned?
This is great, I mean, I'll certainly entertain a motion for adjournment.
Well, did you want to schedule meetings? Was that part of your
If you wanna do
plan?
that, we can certainly do that, everybody got their calendars, we can.
All right.
hold on.
At least one, right?
At least one, we'll get the, find out what's coming up. So if the date for, hopefully I have everything by the 7th, which is a Wednesday,
You say everything, you mean the
the
preliminary
preliminary, yes.
warrant?
Everything that, well, all of the articles should be submitted, and, maybe the BOS, the select board hasn't necessarily determined what's gonna be on the warrant, whether they'll all be on the warrant, but they should all be in the hand of the, select board at that time on this, so that's the 7th, so that's probably when they're gonna formulate the draft warrant, so maybe the following.
I'm not here that week, the 12th. I'm here the week of the 19th, but I'm not here the 12th. Not that you need me, but.
Well, we do. We do. Week of the 12th, are Mondays still the best? Not that, that's kind of an oxymoron, but
Monday, that's September 12th.
when we look at that,
Yeah, I'll put in.
Yeah, looks okay for me.
all right?
Okay, I won't be here.
So do they have a date scheduled for our review with the Board of Selectmen?
I haven't seen that yet. He was gonna,
So
Tim was
TBD.
gonna be sending it around, yeah. He usually sends it, there's usually a letter that comes out with all that, and I haven't seen that. I asked him for it, I said, could you send me along? And he just gave me this outline of dates at this point, so.
Okay.
But that, well, hopefully that went out today,
Hmm.
right? 15th, as we said. Are you guys okay with, in person still, or do you prefer Zoom?
Doesn't matter to me.
Same difference.
We'll keep it, all right, I think we'll try to.
Yeah, you do, no,
First that week.
Zoom, I might be able to join, but,
All right, well, let's see if Zoom's available. Yeah, Zoom wasn't available tonight, so
Hmm.
that was a real challenge. But we did get an extension on that, just so you
Yes.
know, so till next year sometime,
Hmm.
What is
because
it?
of COVID,
Hmm.
so we can do.
Oh,
meetings,
okay.
you know, we can do hybrid meetings, we can do.
Yeah, that makes sense, just in case.
So Chris, will you circulate a meeting invite for the 17th as well?
For the 17th.
October 17th.
Oh, I can do that, sure, yeah. We'll do that. And 6 o'clock, good for everybody on the,
Yep.
12th? Thank you. So I'll send one around for the 17th as well. On Outlook, right? You like Outlook?
Yep, that looks great.
With my other email system, so that's where I get messed up. But that's all right. Keeps me nimble, right? Oh. All right. No other business, motion to adjourn.
all right.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Great, thank you. Meeting is adjourned. Thanks, Doug.
6:39. Did they cut us off at 6:30?